Corey Richens carefully curated the facade of a privileged, affluent, successful business owner. Behind the facade, however, Corey Richens was incompetent. She took tremendous risks.
No lies detected.
She borrowed money by any means necessary at exorbitant rates.
A mess.
She gambled other people's money and lost. Her business was imploding. All the while, Corey Richens was more interested in spending time with Josh Grossman than Eric.
That was just a clip of the prosecution's closing statements. This is day 15 of Utah versus Corey Richens. Let's get into the prosecution's closing statements. He begins with the fact that Corey Richens feels aggrieved and is thus an intensely ambitious person. She feels aggrieved because growing up, her father was an alcoholic who traded parenting for prison, and her mother a gambler who traded parenting for a casino. He goes on to state that she used to help her aunt clean homes of rich people in Park City. She was not beneath those homeowners, but for whatever reason, she felt that she was. That fueled her intense ambition. She continued dreaming of being privileged, affluent, and successful, and she ends up meeting Eric Richens, who is a business owner who has money. They end up having a son together, then get married and have 2 additional children. She was on her way, but she was unhappy. You see, their prenuptial agreement meant that if she left him, she would also leave his money. So she felt that she couldn't leave him. She took out $250,000 in equity out of Eric Richens' home without him knowing it. Keep in mind that house, he purchased it before they were married. She was not on the title. Corey Richens, again, is extremely ambitious. First with Eric's money and then other people's money. So when she took out that $250,000, according to them, she did it so that she could create her business, create her own money, so that when she did leave, she financially was well off. He goes on to share that even though she had this business, she was focused on her affair with Josh Grossman. She dreamed of living in the Midway mansion with Josh, running it as an event center, which there's text messages proving that, farming and raising kids, Eric's kids. But she didn't have the money to leave Eric or even the money to salvage her business. Her only solution was for Eric to die. Now, there are 5 counts that she's being charged with, and let's talk about those counts. The burden of proving aggravated murder, 2 counts of fraud and forgery, and as well as attempted aggravated murder, all fall onto the state. He goes on to talk about the fact that the aggravated murder counts will prove that Corey Richens was the person who did this. The evidence will show that she intentionally and knowingly caused the death of Eric, administering him illicit street drugs that she ended up purchasing from Carbon Lober. She intended to take his life with street drugs. Oh my goodness. It didn't matter what type of drugs. They're going to get into that. The fentanyl was, in fact, what ended up taking his life. Now, he goes on to share that Corey really did it because she wanted his money. That is the why of this. So she would do anything she needed to do to be able to stay with all of his money. The state will prove with all kinds of evidence and testimony showing that patterns of her behavior will show that she intended to cause Eric's death. She intended it as early as December 21st. He then corrects himself December 7th because she booked a trip to the Caribbean with her lover, Josh Grossman, for April. He said she wouldn't have booked that trip if Eric was supposed to be alive. She booked it knowing he was not going to be alive. She even told her friend Becky with the good hair in December on their little vacation that we know that she was kind of feeling trapped, and she did state, or according to Becky, that she was better off if he would die. Let's get into the inconsistencies that he points out. He starts off with stating when people make up stories, their telling of the story becomes inconsistent. Inconsistency number 1, in the orange notebook that they found in the house, she states, when EMTs walk up to me, it's like a little journal she kept, and says, we couldn't do anything, he didn't make it. He then plays the video because she states that she immediately got sick and started throwing up in the bathroom. The video shows that that wasn't true. That when they came out, she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. He was fine, but that's it. No one threw up. No one went to the restroom, according to the timeline that she herself shared. Second one is the orange notebook. She states in the orange notebook that they make Moscow Mule lemon drop shot in the kitchen, then they go and brush their teeth. But in another letter, she says that the Moscow Mule and that lemon drop shot were actually in the bathroom. I mean, not in the bathroom, in the bedroom. Number 3, she says in this, I believe, orange notebook that Eric was on the phone. Okay. They confirmed that Eric was not on the phone. In fact, he was not on the phone after 9 o'clock. In the orange notebook, she also states that Eric was awake when she went into Ashton's bedroom. But then when she's on the phone with Bryce, she tells him that when she went back in that room at 3 a.m., he was asleep exactly the same way she had left him when she went to go sleep with her son. Then they go on to talk about the fact that Corey deleted lots of texts between Eric, Carmen, and Josh Grossman. When they compare them, they're like, hold on a minute. Where are all these text messages on Corey's phone? Because the records are showing that there's text going back and forth. Unfortunately, they could not see or find those particular text messages. Now, he shares that Carmen deleted those, of course, because they were a drug deal transaction. But Corey did it because it was a drug deal and a murder. He then shares that when her phone was seized, she got herself a new phone. And on that new phone, she started searching like a dummy, because there's no other word for it, how to wipe the iCloud remotely. Then she starts searching like about life insurance, how long it takes for them to pay it out, even starts searching up prisons. Another thing that was interesting that they showed an inconsistency on was the 911 call. In the 911 call, you could tell that woman did not want to do no CPR, okay? That woman was, I don't know if I can do it. And the 911 operator, you could tell she was like, I will help you. Let me help you. This is what we need to do. And it didn't seem like she was doing the CPR. She wasn't counting. The lady was like, I'll count with you. Come on, I'll help you. What does she tell her best friend? According to this, it shows that she said that she was screaming and giving him CPR so hard, begging him to come back to her. Ma'am. Again, no evidence of that. He then states that every shred of evidence in this case shows that he didn't take his life. He had future plans with his sister. They were going to go on vacation. The business was growing exponentially. Very successful business. Also, he had a plan to buy a cabin, I believe, with his dad. Again, nothing showing that he was thinking of taking his life. And he was an excellent dad, according to many people. But to them, according to what he's saying, the evidence doesn't show he took his life. He did not use illicit drugs other than the gummies we all know about. Now, another thing that they do bring up is that when she met up with Josh Grossman, her lover, a couple of weeks after his death, when they were alone, she asked him, according to him, right? Have you ever taken someone's life? He was in the military, so that wasn't like a crazy question, y'all. And second, how did you feel after you did it? Yeah, that's kind of insane because it's not, have you ever lost someone close? Did you take someone's life? And how did you feel after? He goes on to continue talking about the fact that too many inconsistencies, too many things are not making sense. She wanted to leave that life. She wanted to start fresh. And the only way that she could was if he passed so she can get the life insurance as well as the properties. In the next video, I will go into the defense's closing statements. Talk to you soon. We are officially in verdict watch, by the way.